Families living in a shelter in Springfield forced to leave today after a city commission vote that took place on Monday. Contract with Homeful was not approved at a special city commission meeting, failing by a 3-2 vote. Jenna Bork joining us live in studio tonight. Can you explain what happened here?
Yeah, Adam, the city cleared out the Executive Inn today, which has been used as a temporary shelter because the service provider contract was expired. I spoke with Mayor Rob Rue. He described who was living there. I also spoke with someone living there about what today was like.
This was definitely families. It was women and children.
We got told last minute, we got woke up by this. We got woke up being told, gotta pack your stuff and go. So very stressful.
Springfield's mayor and a woman living in the Executive Inn reacting Tuesday to a vote by the Springfield City Commission. In a 3-2 vote, the commission voted to end their agreement with Homeful as a service provider at the Executive Inn. The inn had been a temporary homeless shelter for more than a year. Mayor Rob Rue says he voted in favor of the new contract. On Tuesday, families were told they had to pack up and leave.
This is very difficult for me. I was not in favor of where we were today, but what had to happen today was difficult, but it had to happen. If anything would have happened in that facility without any care provider, it would have been just worse than we can imagine.
If approved, the contract would have been worth up to a little more than $1 million.
We weren't writing a check for $1 million to an organization. They would provide invoices and we would pay them.
Mayor Rue says Homeful has been operating in good faith without a contract since June 23rd, and the city will be paying what's owed from then through today. He says a couple agencies agreed to step in to help at Monday's meeting, but the mayor worries it won't be the same.
Well, there was an interruption because folks that were in one facility, folks that had a locked door and a bathroom in a room, were displaced into a congregate setting. So mothers with babies who had a room to lock their children and everybody's safe are now in a congregate facility.
It's unclear exactly how many families were there, but Mayor Rue says there were around 35 to 40 rooms available at the facility. I asked one mother what she's hoping for next.
As a mom, my baby gets into a better spot.
There's no easy answer for what will be next for the property. Mayor Rue says the commission needs to decide what to do next, and they will definitely be meeting about that. Back to you.
Jenna, thank you. Police have now released body camera footage of the arrest of the man they say hit a 9-year-old girl with his SUV last month. Surveillance video showed 55-year-old Jeffrey Atkinson reportedly hitting the girl with his Hummer as she crossed a crosswalk, dragging her for several blocks. Both of that child's legs were seriously injured. Now, following the accident, police body camera video shows when officers tracked down Atkinson and asked him to perform a sobriety test.
I can't focus. And, you know what? I'm drunk.
Atkinson remains behind bars after being indicted on 5 counts, including aggravated vehicular assault, child endangerment, and operating a vehicle while impaired. The man accused of killing a pregnant woman and a teen was arraigned in court today. 32-year-old Nico Cunningham Jr. facing multiple charges, including murder and felonious assault. Now, he's accused of killing the mother of his children and a 16-year-old back in May. Cunningham Jr. remains in the Montgomery County Jail on a $1 million bond. Dayton police also releasing the body camera video of a shots fired call that led to a chase over the weekend. Happened early Saturday morning near Omega Music on East 5th. Police say officers were in that area. They heard gunshots. While officers searched, they found a guy with a handgun. When they tried to wreak an arrest of him, the man drove off.
Do not move! Do not move! Get out of the car! I got 3 black males.
Now, the driver then led police on a chase through multiple jurisdictions, police say. Officers learned no one was injured. The assaults have been committed, so they ended the pursuit for public safety.
Once we learned that this vehicle was not involved in a violent assault, it no longer met our criteria for pursuit. Obviously, pursuits are one of the more dangerous activities that police officers can undertake. So once we learned that there was no compelling reason to pursue this vehicle anymore, we terminated.
Eventually, the driver and passengers of that car were all arrested, including the person who is accused of firing the shots. Now, Major Hall says the department has increased patrols in the Oregon district due to a number of shots fired calls in the area. We're also getting a look at dash cam and body camera footage involving a chase with Springboro police. Now, 18-year-old Deshaun Brinson and another person were seen on dash cam video driving north on I-75 in a reportedly stolen car. You can see that car swerve a bit around stop sticks. Moments later, Brinson and the other person are seen jumping out of that car right there and then jumping over the guardrail. You can see the car still rolling after they jumped out. Police eventually caught up with Brinson, arresting him. He's facing multiple charges, including failure to comply and vehicle theft. We're working to learn the involvement of the second person in that vehicle.
Well, showers moving through the Miami Valley after we did see some stronger storms roll through earlier this evening. This is all falling apart now, but we still do have some light to moderate rain, a couple of heavier pockets of rain further to the south, but you can see through Montgomery County into the Dayton area, Yellow Springs, expecting some more moderate rainfall. All the lightning with this has pretty much made its way to our south as well, as we are losing that instability and that heat of the day as well. You can see still some heavier rain south of Hamilton, but everything else is looking pretty quiet out there, and that will continue to be the case overnight. It's starting to cool off a bit right now, mainly just rain-cooled temperatures, but you can see off to the north, upper 60s, 68 in Wapakoneta, heading in.
Vice President Kamala Harris and her new running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, have just kicked off a campaign blitz through swing states that they see as critical to winning the White House. Audra Aldershot reports from Philadelphia on what the race looks like now that Walz is joining the ticket.
The Veep Stakes is over. Vice President Harris and Governor Walz making their debut as running mates. Harris acknowledges the tight timeline they're facing to win over voters this late in the game.
Thank you for bringing back the joy.
A Minnesotan set to join the Democratic presidential ticket.
We are the underdogs in this race, but we have the momentum, and I know exactly what we are up against.
For much of the country, Tuesday night was their first impression of Walz, a two-term governor, former teacher who served in Congress and the Army National Guard.
Minnesota's strength comes from our values, our commitment to working together, to seeing past our differences, to always being willing to lend a helping hand.
Walz demonstrating his Midwestern, no-frills style of going after former President Donald Trump.
Make no mistake, violent crime was up under Donald Trump. That's not even counting the crimes he committed.
and his Republican counterpart, Republican VP nominee Ohio Senator J.D. Vance.
I got to tell you, I can't wait to debate the guy.
He'll be close by these next few days. Vance is set to follow Harris and Walz on their swing state tour with counter events in Wisconsin and Michigan. Republicans now crafting their strategy for going after Walz. We're already seeing them criticize his handling of the Minneapolis protests in 2020, labeling him a radical progressive. In Philadelphia, I'm Atrell Nashar.
As Senator J.D. Vance saying today that he'll wait to debate Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. After a virtual vote by delegates, Vice President Kamala Harris clinched the nomination. Now the vote is set to become official during the Democratic National Convention. But Vance says he'll only debate Harris as running mate until after the convention.
But look, would it shock me if the Democrats pulled another switcheroo? No, it wouldn't. So look, we're going to wait until they actually nominate Kamala Harris and Tim Walz before we do any debates.
Harris became the presumptive nominee after President Biden stepped out of the race last month. The White House has approved emergency declaration requests from governors of states impacted by Debbie. Now, the storm system is expected to bring severe rain, flooding all the parts of the southeast. The White House press secretary says FEMA has already sent staff to the region to provide support.
FEMA has also deployed multiple incident management assistance teams, urban search and rescue teams, as well as water and meals.
Now, she notes the president continues to receive updates from his team on the impacts of the storm. The White House urging Americans in the storm's path to remain vigilant. And speaking of storms, we had our fair share here over the last couple of hours. Let's check in with Natalie for an update.
Yeah, the heaviest of those storms have now moved south of our region. A few lingering showers as our front continues to shift southward. But spinning along the East Coast is still Debbie, which is holding on strong, bringing those flooding rains along the Carolina coastlines, eventually going to make its way northeastward. We'll see some minor impacts here in the Miami Valley, mainly in the form of some clouds, perhaps a few showers, as we also see a front that makes its way in too. But overall, we will eventually see some much needed relief head its way in. So as we head into the end of this week, we will see a little spike in our humidity on Friday, but another cold front will be swinging through, dropping those dew points down in the refreshing category, because it has been just oppressive out there these past few days. Very sticky, just tropical as you step outside. And then also what we're going to be looking at are some cooler temperatures, upper 70s, lower 80s this weekend. Low temperatures dropping into the upper 50s even as we wake up on our Sunday morning. So that's going to be a nice change. But next couple of days, we'll see those rain showers clear out, waking up tomorrow in the 60s, but 80s tomorrow afternoon, slightly lower humidity. It's going to feel better. Tomorrow is really going to be a nice day. By our Thursday, we start out in the 60s. Back in the mid, maybe some upper 80s, small chance for rain. And notice these clouds, these are actually from Debbie. We'll be seeing the remnants bringing some clouds in through our Thursday, Friday time frame. But by Saturday, we really start to feel some much nicer air make its way in. So lows tonight dropping into those mid 60s. We'll see that clearing by morning, but I'll have a look at that 7-day coming up in a bit.
All right, we have some breaking news we want to bring your way now. This is out of Huber Heights. We want to give you a live look now as the rain continues to fall. Large police presence still active at a home in an area of that city. Now, around 8 o'clock tonight, we're told officers were dispatched to the 6,000 block area of Appleseed Place for a domestic dispute. Now, we're told that SWAT is reportedly on scene there. You can see the roads closed as well. Obviously, a very active scene as we speak. We will keep updating you here on air live and at Dayton247now.com as soon as we learn any new information. A Franklin County judge says Ohio's ban on medical procedures for transgender youth can now go into effect. House Bill 68 bans medical care for anyone in the state younger than 18. That includes surgeries, hormone treatments. It also restricts the participation of transgender women and girls on sports teams. The law was on hold for several months following a lawsuit filed by the ACLU. Now, the ACLU says it will appeal the decision, saying in part, quote, "This is a devastating result for our clients and families like theirs across the state of Ohio." House Bill 68's ban on medical treatments for gender dysphoria remains medically baseless and genuinely dangerous to the current and future well-being of transgender youth in the state. Meanwhile, Attorney General Dave Yost applauding today's decision, saying in part, quote, "This case has always been about the legislature's authority to enact a law to protect our children from making irreversible medical and surgical decisions about their bodies. The law doesn't say no forever. It simply says not now, while the child is still growing. A Pakistani man with ties to Iran has now been charged in connection to a foil plot to assassinate U.S. politicians. The DOJ says that suspect traveled to New York to hire a hitman to carry out his terror attacks. Authorities say the plot was stopped before it could be carried out. The DOJ didn't identify any of the potential targets, but Attorney General Merrick Garland says it is not tied to the Iranian threat on former President Trump.
We have found no evidence of any link between the defendant charged in the complaint unsealed today and the attempted assassination of the former president in Butler, Pennsylvania on July 13th.
Garland says the DOJ expects the threats from Iran to continue. Kettering Health investing millions to build a new healthcare facility in Xenia. The new features it'll include in reaction. Next. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Take Dayton 24/7 Now News with
Law enforcement across the Miami Valley hosting National Night Out events to encourage community engagement. The annual gathering includes food, games, face paintings, giveaways, and more. Washington Township was one of 3 locations the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office held an event at. They say it's a way to bridge a gap between deputies and the community.
Cops are real people. You know, we're just the same as everybody else. We put our shoes on the same way as everybody else. So just getting out here and meeting people where they are and having fun with them.
Centerville Police held a mystery scavenger hunt for their National Night Out event. The winner received a $2,300 fire pit. Tonight, we're learning what Kettering Health has made plans for a brand new medical center in Xenia. Now, the new one will replace the current Xenia facility, Kettering Health Greene Memorial. Eli Burgett has what this means for the community.
Well, Kettering Health Xenia is going to be a $44 million project that will take an estimated 2 years to complete. The new facility will not only be replacing Greene Memorial Hospital, but it will also be moving locations as well.
We have a really special team of people that provide care here at Greene Memorial. They're incredibly compassionate and also have a high level of talent, and we want to make certain we put them in an environment that they can help to design and create, that has all of the tools that they need. And
Kettering Health Xenia will be located on Progress Drive next to the Xenia YMCA and will feature the latest in medical technology, including a full-service emergency room with imaging services that include MRI, CT, and X-ray. Kettering Health says that all team members at Greene Memorial will be offered similar employment within Greene County as this transition plays out. Though, while the staff of Kettering Health sees this move as purely positive, the city of Xenia does not. City manager Brent W. Merriman said in part, quote, "The city does not support this approach and sees this move for what it is, a further reduction in services that will force our residents to seek basic health care outside of Greene County and displace current Greene Memorial Hospital employees." Despite the protests, Kettering Health says that within the 24 months it takes to complete the new facility, Greene Memorial Hospital will continue providing excellent care to the citizens of Xenia. Back to you.
The fourth episode of our Missing Nikki McCowan podcast released this week. You can scan the QR code on your screen to download, or just search Missing Nikki McCowan in Apple, Spotify, whatever podcast platform you use. And make sure you subscribe to the series so you always know when a new episode is available. Take a short break. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Arby's is full of choices. Quick, you can get your favorite stuff, 3 for $5.
Free here.
The Dayton 24/7 Now News app, brought to you by the Jeff Schmidt Auto Group.
Welcome into the Bob's Discount Furniture Sports Desk. It is a crowded quarterback room at The Ohio State. 5 practices into fall camp. Coaching staff waiting for a front runner to emerge. Kellyanne Stitz joins us from the Woody with an update on the quarterback competition.
Offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach Chip Kelly says it's a little too early to read into how they're dividing up the quarterback reps. The Buckeyes wrapped up practice 5 today, and Will Howard has been seen taking majority of the first team reps, but this competition is still open.
I told the players,
Don't count your reps, make your reps count.
Will Howard is making the most of his reps in fall camp, building confidence and chemistry with every pass.
I think I'm throwing the ball with a lot more confidence, throwing the ball a lot better. And a lot of that has to do with the coaching I've gotten. And, that's a credit to those guys for getting me ready. And I've become the best version of myself going into fall camp.
Will has done a really good job really working on the playbook in the offseason.
Howard said he started settling in during practice 7 of the spring. The QB is quickly learning a new offense and that he doesn't need to be a hero